We talk it out, no time to waste. Ooh, yeah. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race. We hold it tight in every space, making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last. Making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, yeah. Through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Noreen Daly, and with me this time around is a friend, and this has been a long time coming, but luckily, somebody who will remain nameless set this up for today. Delroy Souden, a fellow podcaster, and he's owner of Ensound Media. Tell us a little bit about
And schoolmate, former schoolmate.
Not true.
You can't let that out,
Let's not age ourselves.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm still 23.
Hey, yeah, that's a lot of years ago. But Delroy,
know.
tell us a little bit about Ensound Media before we
Well,
get into our topic.
just briefly, a brief introduction about Ensound Media. Ensound Media started out in 1999 as Ensound Entertainment.
Okay.
Back then, we had this very popular gospel music portal. It was the fourth most popular gospel music portal in the country.
Mhm.
And my specialty was independent gospel music. Artists that have great music, but were never signed to anybody's major label. So because I was on the radio at the time and I was getting all this great music from people all over the country and the world, to be honest with you, I decided, you know what? Why don't I create a situation where these people can get some exposure, because it was just the gospel music thing. I mean, the
Mhm.
major artists. So when I made my first album, that was what somewhat inspired me to go forward with the portal and to expand it beyond just Delroy Souden and expand it to everyone. So that
Okay.
was how that started. Fast forward to 2006, 2005.
Mhm.
Carl Henry is my best friend and everything. So I called him up. He was in Canada at the time. Carl has always been there for me as far as helping me pay the bills for my web hosting and stuff. Because back then I had no money. Not that I have much now, but So Carl being the technical guy, he would assist with a lot of that stuff. Even went to do his own pocket and pay for the streaming service and all of that. So one day I called Carl out of the blue and I said, Carl, I think I'm going to do a music award show. Carl, give me all the reason in the world why I shouldn't do it. And being the stubborn person I am, I just shut him down. And for the next 1 year, one full year, I spent developing this music award show. Because the way I saw it, I grew up watching the Grammys. And based on me just watching the Grammys, I can execute an award show. And that's exactly what I did. To be honest with you, we did not sell 4 tickets on my portal. My portal was very popular, 3.5 million in traffic just about every month. So it was popular, but I didn't sell much tickets on there. It was an exclusive place where you could buy tickets. But the night of the event, August 6, 2006, people showed up from all over. When I tell you all over the United States, even a girl from, I think it's Czechoslovakia, she came, she performed, performers from the Caribbean, from South Africa, we had votes from 48 different countries throughout the world. So I took this small idea and make it into like a global thing. So now everybody was wondering, who's this guy? Because Ensound Media was out there, but no one ever see the face behind it. And that was intentional for me. So after the night and the event succeeded,
Mm-hmm.
Ernest Pugh, if you know Ernest Pugh,
Mm-hmm.
Ernest Pugh was my very first male vocalist of the year. He had an album release, I think, 1 or 2 years before my award show. After he won, his album soared to the point of #1 in Billboard magazine, and subsequent albums after that went #1. So, and Drew Rochelle, the female vocalist of the year, she starred in the national stage play of The Life of Marvin Gaye. That opportunity come as a result of her winning. And there were so many other opportunities from so many artists who participated in the award show, you know?
Okay, so you've been doing your thing, because it sounds like we're gonna have to have another specifically regarding that.
Okay.
But it then is a nice segue then into what we're gonna be talking about, because what you've just indicated, that you've basically been around, been in this
Yeah.
digital space for a while. And
Yep.
what we're gonna be unpacking is, are we losing community, rebuilding connection in a digital world? So
Mhm.
we're gonna split it in two and then put it together. When you
Okay.
think of community, what comes to mind?
When I think of community, I think of a body of people, like-minded people,
Mm-hmm.
building, growing, nurturing for one common goal. And that goal is to change the environment or the space in which they live, to
Mm-hmm.
provide opportunity, unify the community, bring businesses together, all aspects of
Okay.
community. That's what comes to mind for
Okay.
me.
When you think in terms of the fact that because of the digital space, which I always think it's ironic, that phones are supposed to keep us connected. Yeah, sometimes when you're in a space, you're sitting at a table, everybody's on their phone rather than connecting. But
Right.
here we are. Why then do you think it's necessary for us to be rebuilding the connection now in a digital
I think it's
world
necessary
or
because
space?
the world around us is changing,
Mm-hmm.
and we as Black people,
Mm-hmm.
we are the ones that always seem to be lagging behind. Everybody else get opportunity except us. But having said that, I do not think it's incumbent of anyone or any one race or group
Mm-hmm.
not to fend for themselves and develop and grow opportunity. After all, we came from we came from a race of great minds, you
Mm-hmm.
know, inventors and so many stuff. And somewhere along the line, we kind of lose that. And I believe
Hmm.
it is as a result of slavery and what was done to us as a people. And even though this happened some 400 plus years ago,
Mm-hmm.
the trauma still exists today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it is difficult in so many cases for us to pass that stage. But as a community, we fail to come together to solve certain things. We talk about it and we remind ourselves of these things so often, but it
Mm-hmm.
seems as if we don't have a resolution for it. And so I feel that we're stuck. And we are the only ones who are going to be able to bail ourselves out. That's how I feel.
Okay, fair enough. All right, we're gonna put it together now. So, do you think we're losing community and we really need to be rebuilding connection? And if you believe that, how so?
Um, I think we're building community, but the community that we're building, unfortunately, is not like a global community, in my opinion. We are so
Okay.
segmented, you know, we are so segmented throughout the world. We don't have a core leadership that's helping to guide and to steer us in one direction.
All right, 1 second before you continue, just to be clear. So for you, we're not losing community. We're not losing community. And we are rebuilding connections then.
Right.
It's just a matter of how, all right, continue. Continue.
Right. So we're rebuilding connection,
Okay.
but it's fragmented, in my
All right.
opinion.
Okay.
It's fragmented in my opinion.
Okay.
Because it's like you probably have seen this. One person starts something, and then another person follows. Another person follows. It's like we're copycatting, you know. And we also seem to have that crab in a barrel mentality. This is why people like myself move in silence, you know. A lot of stuff that I do now in the digital age, I'm much more visible in my promotion and marketing efforts and stuff like that because
Okay.
it's just what we have to do in 2026, you know, moving forward. But back in the day, I intentionally stay away. I want people to see what I'm putting out there, but don't necessarily see my face. The first time anyone saw my face was when I had to go up and give a speech.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were looking at me like, who is this? You see what I'm saying? Because another thing why our community seem to be stagnant per se is that there are not enough young people in leadership roles. These are the future of the world, but the elders are not equipping them to take over and to lead. You see what I'm saying? It's like they hold on to the knowledge, wait until their dying days, hoping and wishing that the younger generation will come and take over when they, in fact, wasn't
Is
taught
it
to take over. You see
is
what
it
I'm saying?
solely but is it solely on them though? Because I'm finding, because as you know, in my other life, I'm an educator, and I'm finding more and more there's this level of apathy and disengagement that some of these young people have. So don't you think it's a bit of both?
It's a bit of
Okay.
both. I agree with that. But sometimes the disengagement, sometimes, not always, sometimes the disengagement is as a result of the way the information is delivered.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If for example the professor is not enthusiastic about teaching the class, don't expect the student to be enthusiastic about it. You see what I'm saying? So we have to change our approach and our way of doing things, and keep in mind that we are in a different world per se. You know, we have evolved from 1974, from 18. You see what I'm saying? So we're constantly evolving, and our methods have got to change or adjust to fit the times in which we are living in. You know, the same problem I have with politicians. They'll sit in there till they die on the job. You see what I'm saying?
We talk it out, no time to waste. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey, love so strong, no need to race.
Hi, this is Delroy Souden from Ensound Media. We're going to take a quick break and get a word or two from our partners. We'll be right back.
I recently have been coached by the great Miss Noreen Daly.
This woman has been full of moments of, I see your potential and I see your dreams that you're afraid to dream. So let's get there and let's do it.
Noreen was the one who recognized my flaw, but she didn't leave it there. She led me along the journey of developing my communication skills.
She was able to point out some of my weaknesses that I didn't yet notice.
She exposed me to so many fundamental pillars of communication.
I pray that you have people in your life who are as supportive as she is, who are as much of a gift as she is.
And I 100% recommend Miss Noreen Daly as your coach.
The truth is, I am who I am today because of Noreen's coaching.
Find her. Seriously, find her.
Services include communications consultancy, one-on-one coaching, public speaking and debate training, leadership and team building sessions, plus much more. Visit noreendaly.com for more info. Noreen Daly, redefining the way you communicate.
War is humanity arguing with bullets instead of wisdom. When words fail, weapons speak. But what do they really say? They speak of loss, of broken homes, of lives that will never be the same again. We've seen it before. Nations choosing power over peace, conflict over conversation. But real strength is not found in destruction. It's found in restraint, in understanding, in choosing peace when war feels easier. Because in the end, bullets don't solve problems. They only silence the voices that could have.
This message is brought to you by NoreenDaily.com and EnsoundMedia.com.
Welcome to Ensound Media, streaming innovation amplified. Body to body, idea to idea, feel the signal come alive. Welcome to Ensound Media, turn your living room to sky. If you feel that spark, get free up, let it move you. Don't ask why.
Welcome back.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Face to face, we set the pace. Hey, hey. Love so strong, no need to race.
What then you think are some of the methods, or how intentional do you think people need to be to make sure that they rebuild connections? Since one of the examples I used earlier was the fact that even though the phones are supposed to help to keep us connected, sometimes it's one of the very same devices
Very
that
distracting.
disconnect us.
And I think you said it in your statement just now. We have to be intentional.
Okay.
We have to be intentional about how we deliver the message and also who the message is coming from. You see, in 2026, you can't take someone who was educated in 1974 and put them at the forefront of the digital space. That's just not going to work. You see what I'm
Fair
saying?
enough. Fair enough.
This generation was born in this. So where you and I will struggle with certain things, they can do it quite with ease. You see, because they were born in it. This is why they call us digital immigrants and call them digital natives. You see, that explains that. And so
It's no joke.
the thing that bothers me is when I see people older than dirt up there trying to represent something that they really have no knowledge of. You see what I'm saying? I can even say that for myself. You will not get me talk about anything that I'm not knowledgeable about. And I'm pretty knowledgeable because I will read stuff that has nothing to do with my life. You see what I'm saying? But I do that because I realize the position in which I am, And yes, I went to school for internet marketing and media communication. So I have to adapt to what's out there. It's difficult, it's challenging at times, and there are times when I have to build my own stuff. You see what I'm saying? It hasn't been easy for someone my age, and I'm not like dirt old, but you know what I'm saying. It's not that easy, but it's something that us in the media space have to adjust to, because we never stop learning. As long as you're alive, the opportunity is there for you to learn. You see? So why not learn the things that matter and the things that can help young people along the way and in turn help every one of us.
How intentional are you, though, in rebuilding connections personally and professionally?
Well, for me personally, I'm not that intentional about the community aspect in general, but as far as the media space go, I understand that I'm just a tiny little mustard seed in the space of this whole big media thing.
Okay.
But the content that I was presenting as early as last year, some of the content, I'm no longer interested in because I realized we're living in different times. And I realized that with this different times in which we are living in, a lot of black, if you may, contents are disappearing or they're being buried, and we are not being represented as other races are. And so I see that as my burden to carry. I'm going to make sure that everybody's represented, despite of their race and complexion, whatever. But I'm going to make sure my race is represented even more so on my network, where other network fail to fill the gap. You see what I'm saying? So I am being intentional in my programming. I still have a lot of structural things to accomplish, but I have started the groundwork. You see? So I can tell you that in the next 6 months, Ensound TV is going to be a totally different space.
Okay.
I'm not so much interested in entertaining people. I'm more interested in educating our people. And so there are going to be a lot more educational content on the development of the Caribbean, Africa, investments, and a lot of stuff that I think that even young people should be able to watch and come away with something, you know? Because
go ahead, continue.
yeah, we just cannot continuously see people come and just push us aside and leave us there. So in my small way, I am intentional about making that small change because you never know what could come out of it.
Yeah. As we're wrapping up the conversation though, Delroy, with all that you would have said, and if it is that there's somebody who's saying, easy for you to say based on where you are, what you're doing, you can do these different things. What would be one of the, like say, a tip that you'd want to share with somebody to say, hey, with all the distractions, with all that's happening in this digital world, this digital space, here is something you must do to ensure that we build connection so we do not lose community, however you may see community.
All right. I am also, a lot of people don't know this. I'm an introvert by nature. I'm an introvert. But it was music on Western East College campus that took me out of that space. When I used to sing on campus, that was my only happy times, you see? And so I do a lot of self analysis and evaluation and stuff like that. And once I become fully aware of my place in the world in general and the voice that I have to make a difference, I run with it. I never always had this voice. I was suicidal at one point. I was depressed from 1989 to 2010. I mean, severe depression. You see what I'm saying? And so once I got out of those situations, I realized that God has something special for me to do. And this is what I am doing. You see, no 9-to-5 job that I've held over the years give me the joy that this media thing that I started on my own without the help of anyone, that this media thing has given me so much joy, you know, because I started out on a tiny little software called Pirate Radio. That's how I started my broadcasting career. Okay. Then the next thing I know, I was one of maybe 5 internet gospel music station at the time in the entire United States of America. Okay. I'm an immigrant. I'm just doing stuff because I love to do it. I don't follow those stats and stuff. You see? So at that point, and even when I make my album, I realize that I have a voice. You know, even though the people who encourage me to make music because they love my voice, blah, 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 I could count on maybe one hand how many of them supporting. You know, that is disappointing. And so I am saying this, in order for us to build community, we cannot just encourage people to do community building. We have to roll up our sleeves and participate in the building of these communities. Okay? It doesn't take a lot to do a lot. I can say that because I've been there. Okay? When I came to the United States, I was working minimum wage, which was, I think, like $3 something per hour. But every payday, which wasn't much, I would invest in myself. Every payday, you know, I love music, Noreen. Every payday, I would go to Christian publications in Manhattan, and I would buy at least 3 CDs. That was where my investment starts. Not realizing that one day those CDs would got me a spot on a radio station, FM radio station, doing a gospel music show that I did for 7 long years. Yes, it was a voluntary situation, but it gave me the experience that I needed to make a greater
Do other
impact.
things.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, because I didn't have a mentor growing up, I'd never had a mentor. And sometimes I wish that I had someone to take my hand and say, hey, lead the way with me. I never had that. So I made it my mission to help these young people in my state of New Jersey. And I want to do the same for Jamaica. Recently I've started, I just registered a nonprofit organization, which I'm hoping to use to bring the Music Awards show back because it's still relevant, even though I haven't done it since 2012. I think there's still a big space for it. Not just music, but just to acknowledge the achievements that so many people, like yourself, a podcaster, like other people who are doing great stuff, journalism and stuff. So I want to do this mass award presentation, which includes music, to honor, quote unquote, the underdogs, because they put in the work. And how I know? I know I put the work in that leads to what I'm doing now. I've always had this soft spot for people, not just everybody, because I don't have it for everybody. I have it for people who start from the bottom up, struggle their way up until they get to wherever they are in life. You see, that is one of my missions. And as a Black person who born dirt poor in Golden Grove, St. Thomas, this is my calling. You see?
Okay.
So we can do a little at a time. You can't move the world if you don't have the ability to, but you can shift a leaf here and a leaf there. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can't. All of us have contributions that we can make to society and our communities at large, however small they may be.
I was about to sum it up, but you basically did that just now. So it's an excellent note to end on. Thank you so much for sharing, Delroy.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
This was Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
We talk it out, no time to waste. Face to face, we set the pace. Love so strong, no need to race. We hold it tight in every space, making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last. Making it last. Oh, making it last. Yeah, through the future, through the past. Building it high, keeping it fast. Communication, making it last.